Hello besties, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be showing you how you can make this yourself, this Bubu dress. It is a trending style. I will be showing you in details how you can make this yourself. So if you're just joining this community, you're welcome. Kindly please subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment below where you're watching from. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you for always tuning in. If you also have any question regarding this style I'm making, and also if you want me to put any new style up here, comment below and I will do it to respond to your request, guys. Now this is the fabric I'll be using for this tutorial, which is high target Ankara fabric. You can also use any fabric of your choice. So this is what I'll be using. So this is already folded into four. You can see the center of it. It is unfold. So the measurements you'll be needing for this is your shoulder to shoulder measurement, your bust measurements, your hip line measurements, and also the length of your gown. So the bust is 42, the hip is 45, while the length of the gown is 62. So for the back, I will be using 16 inches wide for the back, for the shoulder to shoulder. So the first thing I will do now is taking the neck there and width. The neck width I'll be making use of is 5.5 inches. You can use more, you can use less, depending on how wide you want the neck width to be. So whatever you're doing, just make sure you have excess to stitch up the shoulder line together. So now go down by the neck deep, which is the v-neck. I want it to be, because my clients want some of our bust to be showing, our boobs to show. So if you don't want your boobs to show, you can go, you can do 6 inches to 7 inches and thereabout. So this here is 10 inches, and I will also be stitching it on the shoulder part. By the time I'm done, it will be 9 inches left. So here I'll take the shoulder to shoulder measurement. Remember, I took out 5.5 initially, so I'll add up to make it 8 inches. So remember, this is still on fold, and from that 8 inches now I'll go out by the remaining fabric. This is what will become the sleeve opening and length. So this is 15 inches. By the time I'm done making it, I'll be left with 13 inches long for the sleeve. So from the shoulder line downwards, you go in by 11 inches, and then you use 12 inches for the sewing allowance. Remember, we are still going to be stitching it at the shoulder area. This is why it is that wide. So now I'll go down, but if you're already cutting on a pleated fabric, you can go down by 10 inches depending on how wide you want your Bubu sleeve to be. So that is what, yes, I'm doing here. I'm just making sure it is well aligned. So you understand that if you're slim, you can go in by 10 inches depending on how wide you want it to be anyway. So from this 12 inches now, the next thing I will do, I'll take my bust measurement from there, and then I'll add some inches to it. The bust measurement I'm working with is 42 inches, so I'll add extra inches to it, so everything will just be 16 inches. This is plus the sewing allowance, and I'll come under here, which is the underarm. I'll curve it like so it doesn't look too sharp where I'm sewing it. So that's all about the sleeve part. So now I'll be cutting out this neckline now, which is the front neckline. Now after cutting that out, the next thing I did is maintaining the 16 inches from the bust line downwards to the dress opening, which is the down part of the dress. So just make sure when you're doing it is on a straight line, so it doesn't look like an heel-line dress or otherwise. I hope you understand what I am talking about. So I'll just maintain that and cut that out. Here I already outlined the back and the front, as you can see. So this is the back. I'm just going to be going down here. I'll come down by 1 inches, so it is a bit, lower than the front neckline. So that's all about the back. So that's why I'm separating it also now. It is on fold, it's still on fold, and you may be wondering why I am cutting it on fold. I'm doing this because of the facing. I want to cut the facing so it is well accurate before splitting it up later on. So if you follow these instructions and the way I'm doing it, you will get exact results you want. So that's all about it. I'll do that now. I'll go down by 1 inches, so it is a bit lower than the front neckline. From the shoulder you can see where it is, so I'll just outline that and reshaping the neckline. After doing that, I will then align it so it is well accurate, separating the back from the front. As you can see me doing it, just make sure it is well laid on your table before cutting out your facing, so your facing is accurate, because you don't want it to look bent or shape. So you can see where the back is and where the front start from. So I'll go in by 1/2 inch from the back. You can see the way I'm doing it. This is the front and that is the back. You can see after separating it, I went in by 1/2 inch. That is where your straps will be starting from. Do you understand? So you are going to be, why I'm doing this is because you're going to be joining your both piece, both the back and the front, with 1/2 inch, and then you want to start your straps from that back neckline, which is immediately after the shoulder line, after joining it. So I hope you understand what I just said now. Remember we took 5.5 for the neck width. So after folding your fabric like this, you measure the 5.5 and then you're left with some inches. Just make sure the inches you're left with is enough to occupy the shoulder part. I hope you understand. For the facing, this is what I'm talking about now. So just pay attention. I will be folding this. Make sure you are placing the folded parts underneath where your center part is, which is your center, the center of the dress. So you place it exactly the way I'm placing mine, as you can see, so you get exact results. And make sure after placing it, you're left with some inches below the V shape, which is going to be 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches thereabouts. So just make sure you securing the facing underneath your dress, your neckline, so it doesn't look excess or too short. You can see the way I'm doing it. Make sure you are placing it in order. If you have a pin, you can pin this down. This is where you want to, you don't want it to look crumbled or shorten. Just do it the way you see me doing, so you get a best result from it. So I will place it now and then I'll cut it out. And make sure you also label it. You label the front and the back, and make sure you're doing it on the wrong side of the fabric before cutting it out, so you know the difference from the for the front. To cut out the strap, the first thing you need to do is knowing the length of your width. Remember, I have 11 inches for the width, and I'll be cutting out 12 inches for the wideness, because I'm working with a plus size. That is why I'm making it a bit wider like this. But if you're working with a smaller person, you can use 7 to 8 inches thereabout. So this is on fold also. What I need is just 1 inches, close to 1 inches. So I'll be cutting out the wideness of 2.5 inches. By the time I finish stitching it, you can see the way I will be trimming this out a bit. So by the time I am done sewing it, I will be left with 3/4 of an inch. So you can see how it is while I haven't even sewn it. So I will take it to the sewing machine, I'll sew it, and then I'll flip it to the right side, and I'll before fixing it into my dress. Now for the pocket, you can see this is on fold. You can leave it splitted. So you just place your hand like so. Just make sure it is long. So I have like 11 inches here, as you can see. So I'll place my hand like this. This is how you'll be placing your hands. This is the pocket. I have so many tutorial if you don't know how to place it. So for the pocket opening, I have 8 inches. You're good with 8 inches to 9 inches. So I'll just be cutting it in that round shape as you see me doing, like so, and you're good to go. So I'll take my measuring tape and measure this again. This is 8 inches. You can use 9 inches depending on how wide you want the pocket opening to be, so you feel comfortable with it. So this is actually for one side, so I'll be cutting another 2 pieces again for the other side. So here is the straps. I already stitched it, as you can see. So I'll be flipping it over to the other side with the safety pin. You can use anything you have, but safety pin works best with me. So now I will just, you can iron it, you can just leave it like so. So this is it after the ironing. So I will just be measuring it and take out what I want, checking it if it's accurate. Remember what we have is 11 inches wide neckline, which is the width. So I'll be needing 12 inches, so half of an inch on both sides for the sewing allowance. So I will be fixing this now into the dress, but before doing that you need your office pin before inserting your seam. So I will be showing you now how to do that in a neat way. So here is the front part of the dress, the front side of the dress. Remember I said you have to go down by half of an inch. You know, we have not really slitted the back and the front. I just outline it so to know where the shoulder line is before placing the strap. So when you lay it, after laying it down, you put your facing on the fabric and make sure it is right side facing right side, guys. So this is the right side facing the right side. You can see the way I'm doing it, so that you will know the back from the front. So now when you finish placing it, securing it down with your pin, the next thing is how you to place this strap. So what you do, you don't place it like so, you fold it in. Remember, this is still right side facing right side. You don't do it this way because you are still going to be turning this in. You can see the way I'm turning it. So what you do is you turn it in like so. That is the facing, which is your lining, the lining of your fabric. You turn it in like this, and this is after you might have, you know, outline where the shoulder line is, so you don't get confused. You can see the way I'm doing it. So when you flip it to the wrong side, your facing will be neatly sewn and it will be hidden. You can see the way I'm doing it now. So that is the best way you can achieve it. So this is you'll be getting your stitching, but you make sure it is half of an inch on the wrong side. You can see the way it is now. So you sew it, you secure it down here, and then you flip it, and then you do the same likewise to this other side. You can see the way I'm doing it. So it is that easy. So you can see, and make sure you don't surpass or exceed your measurement. So you stitch it down, you secure it, you can pin it down before going to your machine to, you know, sew it, and make sure you don't exceed the half of an inch for the sewing allowance. So you can see the way I'm pinning it down now. So I'll just pin it down like so, and then I will do likewise to this other side. I will secure it down with my pin, and then I will sew it round, and we are good to go. And please, if you're enjoying this tutorial, kindly please like it, comment below if you are enjoying this tutorial. So this is it after stitching it round. You can see how lovely and well tailored this is looking. This is the wrong side now, and this is the right side. I hope you understand better now what I was saying. So I will notch it using my scissors on the V line shape. You can see the way I'm doing it. And remember, this is still not cut yet. I've not cut in the shoulder line yet. I think at this point I'll just be leaving it unfold, which is the shoulder line. If you want to cut it, you can as well cut it. I may end up cutting it anyway because if I don't cut, if I do not cut it, it will be longer with half of an inch added to the front and the back neck depth. So I'm just going to be leaving it. So what I'm doing now is just notching round the sewing part I already did. So I'll just be stop stitching the lining later on. So make sure you fix it. I mean, you've tailored it round before doing all what I am doing right now. So when you're done with this, you flip it and then you top stitch it, and then you get your hem gum, you give it a good press, you secure it down before stitching both the back and the front all together. So now I'll just be showing you. You can see how lovely that is looking already. So this is it. You can see the straps is at the back, so you make sure it is well seated like so. This is the shoulder line. You can see where the shoulder line is. So I'll just be stitching this down with half of an inch, and then how to get where the pocket will be is from your short length. Where is your short length is your upper waistline, which is 16 inches from your shoulder line or 17 inches from your shoulder line. Depends on how tall you are. So that's all about for the pocket. So what I will do is taking, remember from the shoulder line downwards was 11 inches for this tutorial, so I'll just be adding extra inches to that so you can see where it is now. So that is where I'll be starting the pocket from, and then you remember the pocket wideness is 8 inches, so I'll be ending it on the hip line. So go now and hem the gum and also the pocket and come back and show you all how it is. You can see this is it. I've given it a good press with hem gum, which is the facing, and also you can see how it is looking. So this is the pocket here. You can see from the shoulder line downwards, that is where I inserted the pocket from. So now I will just be going again to stitch it down, and then with half of an inch I'll just stitch it down with half of an inch like so. Do likewise to the other side. The way I'm showing you now, this is what you'll be doing to the other side. So when you're sewing it, you make sure the stitch line is facing towards the pocket area. So I'll stitch it round, and then I'll also be joining this sleeve opening round also. So that will be all for this tutorial. Kindly please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please like this video, comment please. If you haven't commented on any of my video, kindly please do so. Thank you. Till I see you again in the next one, guys. Bye.